We've never met personally, but I'm half at it. I've seen you like a gazillion times. But you've never like personally met. All right.
They went to church. Just warned them.
How's it going?
I'm well, thank you.
You're good.
Hello, sir.
What's happening?
I got a Texas guy here for you. Texas guy right here.
Roland Martin.
Yes,
sir.
One of the most important people in media here, independent.
I don't know why I saw you that last time.
We're last at Jalen's golf tournament.
Okay.
Yep.
Bet.
Yep.
See you again.
What's that about the shot? The shot.
We did one more.
Well, that would be the key.
Let me know.
All right.
We can get up.
We can get him in his back. I was gonna say.
Good.
Where you want to go?
Stay there. Yes, we can start.
Thanks for coming back. Lots of special guests in the building today. All right, folks, we got a lot of special people in the building today. We got April Barrett, the president of the SEIU. So,
So much. Really appreciate here. I don't know about you all. I'm tired of talking. I think you all are tired of hearing me talk. So I really do, we know what's at stake, right? We know what we got to do. And here in Michigan, I know that we are going to show up and we're going to defend our democracy, right? We are not just going to defend our democracy. We are laying the groundwork to have enough power, right, to have the right folks in office so that we are able to do the big things. That we are able to do the big things, like make sure we win the care infrastructure that this country wants and needs. And at the center of that care infrastructure is going to be the folks that do the work. The women, the people of color, the immigrants, those of us that have been the most marginalized, the most dismissed, the most discounted, the most disrespected. We are going to center ourselves and we're going to build power for ourselves because we are not electing a savior in this election. We are creating the conditions for us to fight for and demand and win the things that we need. And Kamala Harris got a whole lot to do with that, right? And we're super happy about it. And just the last thing that I want to say is that my new obsession is how are we making democracy not just an idea, not just this lofty thing, but that we are creating a new type of democracy that is a living, vibrant, breathing thing each and every day. That democracy becomes an action word, right? That we make democracy a verb. And what we're going to go out on the streets and the doors here in Detroit today is live democracy, right? We're going to make it alive and real and vibrant and breathing. And so just thank you all for that. I really appreciate it.
Again for April from the SEIU, the Service Employees International. One of the most powerful forces in the world for working people. They represent not only their members, but the entire labor movement. And their members are some of the most diverse and powerful. It is majority women who are members and who lead their union. It's mostly women of color. This is a power center and a powerhouse. They've already gotten victories here in the state of Michigan to organize home health care workers. Those who've ever been served by home health care workers. It's incredibly hard and important work. She said who have been dismissed, discounted, and disrespected, especially by Donald Trump. So I thank you, April, for being here. She's coming to see us from Chicago and DC and all the places where we need to fight for democracy. She's an international leader, so I'm so proud to have her here in Southwest Detroit. How y'all doing, Southwest? I'm Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. I should introduce myself. But I am so proud of this movement of people who are coming together to make sure that not only we win this election, which we're going to do, we're going to win, but that we do the work so that we can continue the work after Election Day. So thank all of you for making the decision to come here and to have a conversation with somebody about what's important and what's at stake in this election. Now, just 2 days ago, I myself was knocking doors here in Southwest Detroit. I was going out with the IBEW, the Electrical Workers Union. They had a member-to-member canvas. That means they were going to see their labor union members who live in Southwest Detroit. So I went to about 12 homes around this part of the city of Detroit myself. And had a conversation with one guy. Came to the door, it was me and their business manager who was just elected in July. And it was great. He was like, hey, how you doing? What's up, man? I remember you helped to train me, all that. And so he said, okay, I asked him, he had a plan to vote. Yeah, he had a plan to vote. He was going to vote on Tuesday. And so we talked a little more small side. I said, well, you're going to vote with Kamala Harris, right? Just came out and asked, we got to find out. We got to get that, understand who's going to vote for us. And he said, oh, well, do I have to tell you? So I gave me a thought, like, okay, he might not be voting for us. So we asked him what was important to him. And his business manager talked about, well, listen, Kamala Harris is going to be the most pro-union president we've ever had. More of our members are working than have been working in 50 years because of all that infrastructure money that's come in to the state of Michigan in particular. And brother, look, she's been putting money in people's pockets at a time when things are so expensive too. And I'll talk about the work we've done here in the state of Michigan. And then he said, well, you know what, y'all might have convinced me. The importance of these conversations that y'all are having is if we had not gone to his house, he wouldn't be voting for Kamala Harris. So there might be somebody in the house that you're going to who may not vote at all unless they hear from you. So thank you so much for doing the most important work, and that is convincing people that they are powerful enough to impact the future of this state and this country. You're not giving them the power, you're just letting them know that they have the power to do something about it. So y'all are really standing tall for Michigan by participating in this effort. For Harris Walls, for Alyssa Slotkin to be our next United States Senator, for that Senate, and you're doing this for the Michigan Supreme Court, for Tyra Harris Bolden, and for Kim Thomas. This is the third leg of that trifecta that we need to hold on to in Michigan so we can continue to get amazing things done for our people, our communities, for our planet, and for our future. So I'm so proud of everybody for stepping up here, and I was so excited that I have to invite a special guest. There's 3 people in here who are almost the same height. Go blue, I see him. But only one of us is like for real internationally renowned and respected. Y'all, Calvin Johnson is so much more than being the best wide receiver in the history of the NFL. He's so much more than being an NFL Hall of Famer. So much more than being inducted into the Pride of the Lion, where his name is up at Ford Field for everybody to see at every Lions game that they're going to watch before we go to the Super Bowl this year. But Calvin Johnson is a person of integrity, a person who not only gives back to the community, but supports those who support the community. Not only here in Michigan, but across the country, in his home state of Texas. He is someone who shows up for people. He's an entrepreneur, he's a leader, he's one of the most conscientious people of his stature I've had the pleasure to ever meet. And he just wanted to come and say a few words because he formally has endorsed, is supporting Kamala Harris, and he was one of the co-chairs to launch Athletes for Harris alongside Magic Johnson. So I just wanted him to come here to Southwest Detroit to say hello and to say thank you to this amazing room of volunteers. My brother,
Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. This grassroots movement that you guys are pushing, as LG said, you guys are letting people know of their power that they have in their hands. So I appreciate you guys going out there, trying to create a better environment, obviously for us to live on this earth, just for our children. I think most about my children. I got 3 little boys that I'm raising. I think about the person that I want to embody in the presidency. I would think about the person, the example that I want set for my children. I think about all of the different communities that have been denigrated by, that have been talked down to, that have been, just looked past by Donald Trump. I don't even like to say the man thing, but this is why we're here today, so you guys can go out here and knock on these doors and bring energy, obviously, to this community, bring and lift our voices. We have a voice, letting the people know that they have a voice. And at the end of the day, man, we just got to go out here and get this victory for Kamala. And that's what's most important, because we have the opportunity to really change the course of where we're going right now. The track that we're on and the divisiveness that we have in society right now, we have opportunities. People in this room have opportunity to change that right now. And we here in Detroit, there are a lot of people, like LG said, there's a lot of people on the edge that really don't know what they want to do. You guys have the opportunity to push people over the edge, so I commend you for doing that. And I'd just like to say, just want to bring a little energy before you guys step out and go out here and knock on these doors and give people the push that they need to go out and make the right choices come today, tomorrow, or election day. So once again, appreciate you guys being here. I can't understate the importance of you guys being here and what you're about to do. So like I say, thank you for having me, and let's go make a difference.
All right. I'm going to take a big group selfie, and y'all going to go hit these doors, all right? Come on. Okay, come on. We're going to go back here. Come on. You're standing right here on the side. All right, I'm going to get everybody in the picture. Look at my phone here, all right? Everybody come close. All right. We gonna say Southwest 03. 1, 2, 3. Southwest. 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody.
I watch you all the time.
Appreciate it.
I just wanted to let you know that. And I'd love to give you a hug, but I know you got things to do.
Just doing a little work.
The incredible volunteer energy and activism that's happening.
April.
Workers who are knocking doors all over in every battleground state today, knocking doors specifically for VP Harris's care agenda to support affordable.
Let's get you just real quick. Just couple days left. Talk about the work that your union members are doing all across the country.
I am so incredibly proud of the work that SEIU has done all across this country. I talked to you, right when we were launching our program, our announcement that we were going to spend $200 million in this cycle. We have talked to over 7 million voters already, and we are still counting. And the voters that we talk to are those that matter the most. We've reached 7 million high opportunity voters, people of color, young voters, first-time voters. And we know that it is these high opportunity voters, these working class voters that's going to make the difference in this election. All 7 million have been in battleground states. Detroit, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Charlotte, Atlanta. Our members have shown up and shown out. We have had over 20,000 unique volunteers in this election. And so nobody can say that SEIU has not done our part, and we're not going to sit down. Once Election Day is over, we're going to continue to fight to make this country what it needs to be for working people.
I saw a tweet yesterday about 30 SEIU buses going to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was there in Pennsylvania yesterday, and the energy is just off the chain, right? We have folks coming from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, because we know what's at stake, we know what's on the line. So along with our 70,000 members in Pennsylvania, we are painting that state purple.
All right, then. Well, we appreciate it.
All right,
thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Caring for disabled people,
Thank you.
for elderly people. And it wasn't until I arrived directly in the middle of that sandwich generation, taking care of small children, taking care of elderly parents, at the exact same moment in time. And I know that's confusing because I was so young, how could I? It doesn't make sense, but I promise I do. It wasn't until I arrived smack dab in the middle of the sandwich generation that I realized how fundamentally broken our care system is. We present women with false choices of economic and professional success when we don't have guaranteed pay and affordable child care. How hypocritical is it of us to tell our young girls they can do anything, they can be anything, and then provide no infrastructure to actually make that happen? Because, spoiler alert, of course, it is the women who do the care work, both paid and unpaid.
Let's get your account real quick.
Kamala Harris's plan, and I want to just get this
So first and foremost, there are a lot of athletes, former athletes, who say, you know what, I don't want to get involved in politics, don't want to do any sort of things. Why was it important for you to put it on the line and stand up for Vice President Kamala Harris?
Man, it's obviously Kamala, she is obviously our nominee, but it goes beyond that, man. It goes beyond where we are as a society. You know, it goes where the leader that our children are looking up to. It goes to women's rights and the various communities, you know, that are cast down. You know, and I feel like me myself is someone like to step up for people that don't have a voice. You know, and I mean that's what the platform is for that I've garnered over the years. You know, to be able to go out and do things like this when the time is necessary. So to be able to go out for small businesses, and like I say, I obviously spoke to people of color. You know, it's of the utmost importance to be able to be a shining light just for those, even like we're talking about over here, the people that don't realize the power that they have just to go out and vote. You have a lot of power. We have people in this community that have a lot of power. They don't realize it, but they got a loud voice and they can make it heard.
What do you say to that young brother or sister who was thinking about sitting on the couch, who believes that my vote doesn't matter, it means nothing? What do you say to them?
I'll say those people that think that their vote does not matter. There's probably another, tens of thousands of people that have that same thought. So think about those tens of thousands of people go out and vote. They make a change.
All right, then. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks a bunch. All right, appreciate it. Good seeing you. Good seeing you.
So that our values are aligned with what our systems.
Can I take a selfie with you?
Yep.
The work we're doing here today gets us so much closer to that. I'm so excited to be with you all.
Here you go. All right. I'm get it with him real quick.
Yes.
Bodies to this moment, and let's go knock on the doors.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, I am. How big I am. Let's just start there.
Got you by 10.
Oh, wow. I'm from H-Town, so. There you go. Anyway, Jackass High School. Oh, yes, sir.
I got you by 10.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get the Congresswoman over here real quick.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, April. We have the most amazing women leaders right here. Really. So let's give it up for all of our okay, who canvassed already today? Yes, give it up for all the canvassers. Who is a first-time canvasser right now? Yes! I love it. Okay, I love to ask that question because this is the moment where it all comes down to you. No pressure, but it all comes down to you. And literally the only thing that makes a difference between now and the end of the day Tuesday is these conversations that you're having on the doors. And so it is really amazing to see the energy in the room because people understand how deeply important the people that take care of us every day are for us to take care of now. And to get the investments that we need in our workforce, in our long-term care workforce, universal child care, to make sure we have paid family leave, to make sure we are taking care of the people that take care of us every day. That is the work. And so I want to just tell you that we got so close last time when Democrats had the House, the Senate, and the White House, right? We were so close. If we had actually had 50 Democrats in the House, we would have gotten it done because Kamala Harris would have made sure she signed that bill that provided so much of what we are looking for. We were a couple votes short. But what I think about in this election is that we have a chance to go forward again. We have a chance to build something very different than what we have had before or what we will have, most importantly, if we were to have the other guy. And so what we need to make sure of right now is that people know what Kamala Harris stands for. I was the first Indian American woman elected to the House of Representatives. The very same night that Kamala Harris was the first Indian American woman elected to the House and the second black woman elected to the Senate. She was elected to the Senate, and we were elected on the same night as Donald Trump. And Kamala Harris made sure that the first bill she introduced was a bill to provide legal counsel, access to lawyers for people who were affected by Donald Trump's Muslim ban. The second bill we introduced together was the National Domestic Workers Bill of Rights. And Kamala Harris has known at her core what it means to protect our bodies, to protect our rights, to protect our dignity, to give us a chance to organize for the world that we know is possible. And that is, again, what's at stake in this election. When I was here earlier, I told a little story. I'm going to tell it again because people say all the time, democracy is on the line, democracy is on the line. And I want to tell you what that means to me because I'm an Indian American. I'm a proud immigrant. I came to this country when I was 16 years old by myself because my parents felt like this was the place I was going to get the best education, the most opportunity. And it took me 17 years to become a U.S. citizen, and now, of course, I'm the ranking member on the Immigration Subcommittee, so when I became chair, but I think I didn't understand how fragile our democracy is until January 6th, 2021. And on January 6th, 2021, the sitting president of the United States was inciting an insurrection. And I was trapped with about 36 other members of Congress in the gallery of the U.S. Capitol as the worst assault on the United States Capitol in the history of our country since the War of 1812 was happening. And on that day, as I was sprawled out on the floor of the gallery with my knee, I just had a knee surgery, so I had a cane in my hand, I couldn't walk. On that day, as I heard the insurrectionists banging on the walls to try to get into the gallery, and I heard them screaming that they were going to hang Mike Pence, that they were going to kill Nancy Pelosi, and that they were going to come in and kill us. And I never in a million years thought that as a member of Congress, I would be there to do my job and certify the election for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who won the 2020 election. They won the 2020 election, and yet we had a sitting president who didn't want to transfer power peacefully. And they were going to kill us for doing our jobs. And in that moment, y'all, I realized that democracy is really fragile. It is really fragile. And I think I had fooled myself coming over here as an immigrant at 16 to the greatest democracy in the world, the oldest democracy in the world, that somehow it was fine. It was just all going to be fine, and we could just go about our lives. And yeah, we could advocate for things that we cared about, but our democracy would survive. I realized that night it is fragile, and yes, we can protect it and preserve it, but it actually requires you all doing what you're doing today and putting your hands on that arc of the moral universe, in the words of Dr. King, and pushing it more quickly towards justice, making sure that it bends in the right way. And the only thing that will make that arc bend in the right way between now and the next 2 days, November 5th, is the work you're doing. And so I am just so grateful to you, because those conversations, those door knocks that you're having, the one-on-one contact with people to make sure they know that there's an early voting site very close by, to make sure they have a plan to vote. If they're uncertain, we've got all kinds of things that we can help to move people's minds. You all know what that is, to actually get them to vote and make sure that we elect the first South Asian Black woman president of the United States. And let's leave nothing on the table, right? Anybody got an extra hour between now and Tuesday night? What are you going to do?
Use it.
Use it. And how are you going to use it, April?
I'll go talk to a voter.
You're going to go talk to a voter.
Oh, yes.
And we are not going to let anything stop us from that, right? Because we want to feel on November 6th.
We're going to win.
We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to feel proud. We're going to make it happen. Let's do it, everybody.
About next steps? Great.
Hello, everybody. Thank you again for being here. If you guys have a list put into your minivan so you know the doors are going to be knocking, you can feel free to go to our literature table on that wall, grab some, head out to the streets. If you need a training on the app, I'll be right here doing that as we circle up. But otherwise, thank you again. Let's go knock some doors. Let's go win this.
I'm gonna
show.
All right, my love.
All right, here we go. I was giving everything I had. Sucking it in.
Here, let's do a quick one.
Yes.
I was just going to do a selfie. Perfect. Thank you for all you do. Also.
Our last night.
She's a dear, dear friend. She's done fundraisers for me, and she's come out and treated doctors with me and the whole thing. And I remember the first time I met her, I was very nervous to meet her because I used to like exercise for exercise videos. Yeah. And so I was like, what's going to happen? I'm so happy to be a fan. And I said, and I really love that shit.
I think that's what you
Congresswoman, I get you real quick.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm sorry.
I'm
Before
good.
you do that, I'll talk to you ladies. Okay. I love you too.
We got this.
Polls are tight. Obviously, Michigan is critical. And so how do you feel about this state for Harris Walsh?
I feel really good about it. I feel like we have been doing the work. People have been out in the streets, and I see a change even from 3 weeks ago to today, where people are really understanding what's at stake, and they know that Donald Trump is not going to lift our lives up. He's going to destroy people's lives in all kinds of ways. And people are excited about Kamala Harris, both the history-making nature and her very specific plans for how she's going to invest in housing and care, in lifting people up and bringing us together instead of this divisiveness and this hate, xenophobia, racism, sexism that Donald Trump is spreading.
When you look at a lot of the polls that have come out, tremendous turnout among young women of color.
Yes, absolutely, and that's a lot of what I've been doing, has been going out to voters of color, and particularly women who, and women of color who really see the intersectionality of what's happening, right? It's not like, as a woman of color, I'm not a mom on Monday, a woman on Tuesday, an immigrant on Wednesday, a worker on Thursday. I'm all of those things all of the time. And so young women of color are fired up. They are ready to save our democracy. They are ready to make sure that in these swing states, they turn out. And we are seeing this across the board. And I think when people look at Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they can see themselves in her, right? It's not just about representation being meaningful because the picture looks better. It's that they actually see their own futures differently because she is there. So if you're middle class, you can see yourself in Kamala Harris. If you've been a McDonald's worker, you can see yourself. If you're a woman of color, you can see yourself. An immigrant or a child of an immigrant, you can see yourself. And that is a really beautiful thing. And it's, you see the energy everywhere.
You're clearly one of the leading progressives in a house. But what are you also saying to so many progressives in this state, especially Muslims, Arab Americans, who are upset what's happening in Gaza? That's a huge voting bloc. And so what are you saying to them? Because some say they want to penalize the Democratic Party.
Yep.
But the opposite side is Trump, who wants to deport Muslims.
Yes, this is what I've been spending a lot of time on because I have a lot of credibility on this issue. I have been one of the most vocal calling for a ceasefire, one of the earliest calling for a ceasefire and a change in U.S. policy. And so there's a lot of pain and grief, rightly so, with a lot of our communities, Arab, Muslim, even young Americans in general, people who are pro-peace. But for the Arab and Muslim communities in particular, they're pulling family members out of rubble. It is painful. And I've just been so moved by their willingness to think about how do we move forward. And if the goal is just to punish Democrats by voting third party, which draws from Democrats, not from Trump, or staying home, that the consequence of that will actually be that we depress our ability to organize for sustained power. Because we're not going to win policy change unless we can organize for sustained power for the Muslim and Arab and pro-peace communities. So I've been saying to people, let's not think about whether or not Kamala Harris is perfect on the issue. We know that I have disagreements with her around that, and I've been public about it. Let's think about who gives us the opportunity to have the most fertile ground to organize under, and that is Kamala Harris. Donald Trump will empower Netanyahu the same way he did the first time around. He was the one who moved the embassy to Jerusalem. He is the one who expanded settlements and put a U.S. ambassador in place who has monetary interest in settlement expansion. He is the one that put Rudy Giuliani up on stage, who said that Palestinians are bred to be terrorists and kill us at the age of 2. So Donald Trump is going to be terrible for our community, but also for the allies that we need to win this movement. He's going to strip voting rights from Black Americans. He's going to mass deport immigrants. He is going to strip our reproductive freedoms. We need to build a bigger coalition, and the Democratic Party is the only place where there is actually a real discussion about changing policy in the Middle East. There is none of that discussion in the Republican Party, but in the Democratic Party, we are having that very real conversation. We can organize for that sustained power if we get Kamala Harris into the White House.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, folks, so here's the deal. That is it from here. Now, I got to jump into the car. We got to race to Michigan State University. It's 90 minutes away. We're going to be broadcasting live from Vice President Kamala Harris's rally there. So I got to go. I appreciate all of y'all joining us. Be sure to share these videos with all of your social media followers. Nobody else in Black-owned media is doing this. We're here on the ground, here in, of course, in Michigan. I'm going to be in Pennsylvania tomorrow. Supposed to be here in Michigan. We're going to move us to Pennsylvania tomorrow. And so be sure to support us, folks. Please support us via PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. So time for me to hit the road. I will see y'all in about 90 minutes or 2 hours when I get to Michigan State. All right? Y'all take care.